Hey guys, I'm Otto from Everything Amiibo. Does the Nintendo Switch have a sound effect when you click the Joy-Cons in? Is it loud? Is it quiet? Is it customizable?
Amiibo!
So GameXplain recently released a video where they just briefly talked about this sound effect that would play when you pushed the Joy-Con controller into the console. And that just got me wondering what the specifics of that were. So I did some Google searching and there was very little on it. Now I actually got invited to the Nintendo Switch hands-on event in London. Now I went there with my friend and we tried out a whole array of games. I would say we were close to trying out almost all of the different types of Switch setups that were there. Now in none of them were we allowed to click on the button and take out the Switch controllers, or were we allowed to put them back in? I mean, that's already a bit suspicious, but let's just push that aside because, you know, we're going to assume they don't want people to steal the Joy-Con controllers and find the technology inside and beat them at their own game, or just get a free Switch controller. Naturally, I'm pretty curious as to what actually happens when you click these on. Alright, here's the deal. Nintendo has been marketing their Switch console with that sound effect in like all of the trailers. Everybody loves it. Everybody's saying, oh, it's going to be so satisfying to click it in and everything. And we're actually hearing people coming in and saying that clicking on the Switch is really satisfying, but we'll go back to whether that's true or not in a second. The point is, people want this click, they associate it with the console, and so we're expecting some sort of sound or feeling when we actually physically put these Joy-Cons in. Now GameXplain uploaded a video from the hands-on event in New York, and they managed to get a listen of what it sounds like when you put the controllers on the console. You could hear an audible hardware click when they go onto either the controller or the actual Switch console. You might be tempted to say that's what it sounds like, but first of all, it was a crowded area, and second of all, the Nintendo Switch controllers don't actually have microphones. No, don't actually have speakers. The Nintendo Switch controllers don't actually have speakers, which means if we're hearing the same sound when the Switch controller attaches to the console as when it attaches to the Joy-Con controller holder thing, and there's no speakers on the Joy-Cons or the holder, then that's just the physical hardware sound. There is no sound effect being played there because those two sounds sound the same. So either they've turned the sound effect off on the console or there is no sound effect. Now the reason that's a big deal is because we'll see in not too long that GameXplain contradicts itself on this one. Alright, so let's go back to where this all began. YouTuber Obi-Wan Plays uploaded a SWITCHMAS leak video talking about what the Switch sound effect is going to be like.
Click! Y'all want to hear it again? It was different, huh? Because that's what you're going to be getting. The actual boop when you put it in the device. Less dramatic, less satisfying.
I think it was pretty obvious to everyone at this point that it's not going to go really loudly in your face every single time that you click it in, but there may be a sound effect very similar to that. Who knows? Anyway, according to him, this is what the deal was, and more importantly than what that sound effect actually is, he was implying that it existed, that there is going to be a sound effect, not just a hardware click, a sound effect coming from the console when you click these in. Now another YouTuber, SpawnWave, decided to respond to these rumors with complete denial.
When you put that Joy-Con in, it makes that Switch noise. No. If it made that noise every time, and you're on an airplane, and you're on a bus, people are going to get so mad at you because that would become the most annoying noise ever.
Obi-Wan is known for being pretty shifty with his leaks, just throwing out that clickbait, throwing out that completely obvious predictions as leaks, but he's also managed to match up with some pretty reliable leakers, and a decent amount of his leaks have come true. But to be honest, Spawnwave's response to this leak is a little bit immature, and he's not really thought it out so much. I don't think it's dumb to assume that we would have a sound effect. It could be turned down with how high your volume is. You could have different modes, like on your phone where you have ringer mode and no ringer mode, and you just turn it off while you're in public. It's pretty simple. It could scale with the volume, as this Reddit post says. And yeah, it could be restricted to your headphones when you have headphones in. So it's not going to be a major disruption to the public, and it's not going to be a sound that we grow to loathe because you hear it all the time, clicking everywhere around you. I mean, it's already happened. The Apple notification sound, or however it goes, that is the most infuriating sound to me, but it's still a thing. It didn't stop the sales of Apple iPhones, okay? It's just the thing people do. So if Nintendo's gonna do it, this is not gonna stop them. Oh, and for the record, when you open the 3DS, it goes click, especially the newer models. I love it. It's a nice, satisfying sound, and I've never seen anybody get annoyed by it or something. Now, that kind of 3DS hinge sound effect might actually be closest to what the Nintendo Switch hardware sound effect sounds like. I mean, if we take a listen to GameXplain's video and the sound effects found in the Switch trailers when they're actually inserting the controllers, and it's a pretty simple hardware click in that sounds pretty darn satisfying and probably won't be too disruptive to anyone. Alright, I think we pretty much settled it. It's gonna make a nice satisfying hardware sound when you click it in. No, don't go. I'm just kidding. No, there's a video that completely destroys all of this and made me rethink everything. It's that video that I was talking about at the start from GameXplain. So Ash from GameXplain was over at Yacht Club Games, the creators of Shovel Knight's headquarters, and he was trying out the Nintendo Switch, specifically Shovel Knight on it, of course. But there's a local multiplayer mode, and he got to take out the Joy-Cons and have some fun. Now, he noticed a little something while he was playing.
There's actually a little sound effect built into the UI, or built into the system by Nintendo, that plays when you connect the Joy-Cons. So not only is there this really satisfying click that you get physically, that you can hear, in the hardware when you connect the Joy-Cons to the Switch, but there's actually a little sound that plays out of the Switch itself that's like a little click too. So
that right there is pretty much a confirmation of a sound effect that plays when you actually insert the controllers, along with the hardware click, of course. But what's he talking about? Is it the sound effect from the trailers? Is it just an amplification of that hardware click to make the sound more rich, even if the hardware's not feeling it so much anymore? Or is it just a cool new sound that we haven't heard before? Obviously, this would be outputted by the Nintendo Switch's OS every single time you put them in, but we don't know if this is controlled by the current volume, if it can be turned off or on, or, most importantly, if it can be customized. These are the questions that I want answered. So Ash, if you're watching this, I would love if you left a comment below to explain a little bit more what this sound effect was like, so we can really prove or disprove the different opinions going around the internet right now. If not Ash, then I'm sure we could get some information from one of the indie developers or any developer that's working on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know why Nintendo themselves is keeping it so secret, but it's about time we found out. My guess is that it's a little bit of a different sound that we haven't heard yet that sounds kind of like the and kind of like the hardware click. I'd imagine this plays no matter what your volume setting, but it's pretty low so nobody will care. But what I really want, that's a different story. Customizable sounds. That would be awesome. Imagine if the developers could choose it depending on the game that was being played. For ARMS, it could be like a punch sound effect when you put it in. You could have some mystical, weird fantasy sound effect for Breath of the Wild. I mean, probably on those games you just keep it normal. But I'm sure one developer could think of something really cool to do with the sound effects that actually plays a part in the game. And there's also the potential that we could set our own ringtones for the Switch when you put the controllers in. I don't see why not. I mean, it would even be possible in a software update. That would be cool. Well, anyway, one thing's for sure. There's a hardware click, you can hear it, and it's satisfying. So what do you guys think the Switch sound effect is going to be like? Let me know in the comments below, or click on the link in the description to the Reddit post, and I bet as a community we could figure this out pretty quickly. I am so insanely hyped for the Nintendo Switch, guys. I cannot wait to have it in my hands, sound effect or not. And of course that means it's gonna be on this channel unboxings, gameplay videos, top 10s, and Zelda funny fails. Yes, more, finally. So if you found this video informative, or if you enjoyed it and you're looking forward to more Nintendo Switch content, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to Everything Amiibo. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys later. Oh my gosh.